Hi, everybody. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what lies are you telling yourself? And are you listening to your true self? Are you following your arrow? Today, I have a special guest, Andrea Pettingill.
You're listening to the Tribe Nail Tech Podcast, where nail techs find inspiration and motivation to take their career to the next level. We welcome you here. Now tribe up and slay your day. Here is your host, Becky Bunnell.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Today, I've got a special guest today, Andrea Pettingill. And we are going to just have a little jam session here today. So welcome, Andrea.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Becky.
Yes, I am so glad you're on here today. I'll give you a little bit. She is a Utah nail tech also, just like I am. And I'm going to just turn the time over to her. I just recently was up at her salon. What was it, a week or two ago? It's all a blur. I think it was last Monday. Maybe it was the week before that. Anyways, teaching a Sojel certification class. She hosted it at her beautiful salon, Shine Bright. Andrea, let's tell everybody a little bit about you, how long you've been in the industry, what are you doing, what do you specialize in, and just brag about yourself for a minute.
Okay. So my name is Andrea Pettingill. I have been a nail tech in Utah in the Ogden area since 2006. So it's like, what's that, 14, 15 years? It's like you stop counting right after 10.
Yeah.
About 2017, I opened my salon. It's Shine Beauty, not Bright, but
Shine
so
Beauty.
close.
Sorry, but
Yeah.
you Shine Bright. So here you go.
That's been so fun. We'll talk a bit about my salon, I hope a little bit, because that's shifting. I was a young nails educator since 2014. Yeah, I'm like, when was that day? So traveled, did a lot with young nails. I say was because it's like COVID and we're like not really doing too much at the moment. And so that's been awesome. I'm like a young nails diehard with like all my products. It was way fun to have you at the class and learn new things. I was like, never stop learning. When I was posting about it, I was like, this was so great. I still have my pink and white. I love it.
I love it.
On my pinky. So yeah, that was just the other week and been so fun. I have multiple businesses, which we'll dive into a little bit, and kind of scaling things back, and then just doing business coaching for nail techs and really working with my mastermind group on stuff like that. And so, yeah.
I love that. So let's talk about the salon a little bit. Like it's a beautiful place, but you've got some changes going on right now. So you've got it up for sale.
I put it up for sale.
You're doing a 360, I guess, and just let's talk about that a little bit.
Can I talk about opening a salon with the intention of selling it, really snip it quick? Because I studied this before I opened my business. Now that I am selling my salon, I'm like, Andrea, you knew this stuff going in, and I am not like, I'm like, oh, I was so not prepared like to like have all these ducks in a row. And so I just want to say, if anyone's got a business that is sellable, just build it as if you're going to sell it. Just do yourself a favor, because someday you just never know how the universe is going to shift your reality and call you in your soul to like, I have to sell this and change things up. So that's kind of what happened for me. I shifted lots of things. It kind of started with, in my salon, I am a super like woo-woo, bring in the energy work and all of the things and help balance our inner beauty going on in the salon with the services. Like we all know how we're such like therapists holding people's hands for years and like learning about them. And that brought me into the world of like helping people heal through energy work and that. So I really wanted to bring in a energy work. I brought in a life coach and an energy worker into my space. And it shifted into a separate business actually, because we were all such powerhouses that we're like, we need to do this really big, like scale. And so we created My Meditation Collective. Becky's actually been to one of our retreats before in Huntsville, Utah, up in the mountains. It was so beautiful.
Awesome.
And we created that business. And so then on one side of my business, one side of the foyer is the salon, and the other side of the foyer is My Meditation Collective. And that started to grow and shift so fast that I'm like, how do I long story short this? But I started noticing myself like pulling into everything that they were doing over here in the salon, kind of being left to fend for itself, kind of a thing. And the energy in my salon was feeling it, you know. And then COVID happened, and two people had to like go work from home and leave the shop. And I was like, pause, what is really going on? And it made me like stop and think. And I was like, why do I own the salon? Why is my energy so drawn over here? Why is my passion being pulled around? And I started to notice that instead of listening to my own truth of what I am here to do and my mission on this planet, I started like people pleasing my business partners, people pleasing my staff, and being pulled and just bouncing. Have you felt that before, Becky? Like,
yes.
You're just
when you're torn into so many directions and you're just trying to please everybody. And then, like you said, sometimes it's like, what do I really want to do? Am I like pleasing me? Am I following what I'm supposed to be doing, what my heart is telling me?
It's kind of like this worthiness piece of like, do I have the audacity to like think that I can just please myself? It's kind of like a self-love piece of like, do I deserve to please myself? Because I'm a mom and I've been trained to just take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back further, like goes back in history a little bit before for me of like opening the salon in the first place, because it was opened out of like, oh, I became a nail tech. I became so successful. I became an educator. I have to open a salon.
Right.
That's the next step. And if I don't do that, I'm not worthy, you know? And I stopped and I was like, back up. Like, who am I building a salon for? And then this is one of the points that I wrote down to like talk to your audience about, because I thought this would be the huge nugget. So write this down. What are you lying to yourself about right now?
Right.
What are you lying to yourself about right now? Because to me, in the back of my mind, I was like, my salon has to be open. I have to have this big, long history of like, I owned a salon for X number of years so that my daughters, who are 3 and 2, could like someday work with me in my shop that's been around forever and get it passed down to them. That's what I was noticing this story. And as soon as I caught that lie of like, why, like, I just kind of was like, why did that have to be what's making me keep going in this thing that's not working? And it's like putting, what's the saying, something square into a round hole, like a square peg in a round hole. And I'm like, hold on. If my girls who are going to be raised by this entrepreneur mama want to do that, having my salon is not going to be like the factor that helps them become entrepreneurs or not. It's not going to be the thing. So unpacking that lie, I'm like, okay, so let me set that aside. Without that, do I still want this? And then my meditation business is taking off, and it's going this direction that I wasn't sure I wanted to go with them. Bless their hearts, and I hope them well. But I decided also, after I decided to sell the salon, I decided to exit the partnership, which we can talk about. And so unpacking that, I was like, whoa, like none of this is my truth and my calling. And so it's scary to be in that zone of like, okay, now I know what's true for me and what I get to let go of and move on from. And then like, it's time to make a change.
That's huge though, because it is scary. Because like you said, you've got this story. We all have the story we tell ourselves. And like you said, oh, I got to do this to be successful, or I have to have this on my resume. This has to be my
lie.
Yeah.
And I've always been a business coach through and through. Like I've been coaching my staff, I've been coaching different people. And that was one of my lies, right? Oh, no one's going to listen to me as a business coach in the nail industry unless I have a successful salon business. Lie, like all these things. And so, you know, it's just unpacking the lies.
It's so true. So many different levels of that. But I want to jump back really quick to something you said when you did say, so I want you to touch on it a little bit, but you said, when you're opening a salon, set it up as if you're going to sell it. So give us a little bit of information of what you meant by that.
So,
and we'll come back to all this.
I think it was years before I opened the shop. It was probably 2011. I read this book called The E-Myth Revisited, talking about the entrepreneur myth. And it just just like read that book. Like if you're entrepreneur minded and driven, it helps you to see how you can build a business with an exit strategy in mind, so that you're taking care of all of the systems. It tells the story of McDonald's, of how this was such a good system that they could franchise it and like spread it across the country and make millions or whatever. And it's been a long time since I've read it, and obviously I'm not living what it says, because I'm feeling the whole like the inner conflict of like all these things I learned, but like now my broker who's selling my salon for me is asking for all this information that I don't have and all these things. So build it as if, because if you build it as if you're not, like, you're always going to keep those systems and things just like in your mind, so no one can just like walk in and turnkey and take your salon to a place where they see it as profitable, because as they're coming in and they're like kicking the tires, they're like, okay, how is this turning a profit, all of these different things, and then they can't see the value, and then you have to drop your price and negotiate and all of this stuff.
So like the numbers and things like that, because
like the back end not fun stuff. And like and just the systems. Like a while back I dropped Vagaro, was one of my CRM systems. My broker was like, do you have CRM? Are you tracking, like, we have so many clients that have come through our salon. And I was like, I used to have that, the names, the emails, all the things. And then I turned off our Vagaro. So it's an older, it's not very current with everyone's names on there. I don't have as big a list as I would have had if I would have just like kept up on the clientele list and stuff like that, just to make sure you can add more things to the value list as you're listing it for sale.
Yeah. Improve how many clients you actually have. Yeah. Because the list that matters. And I've been feeling that lately too. I'm like, man, we really need to be tracking all these customers better, with emails and things like that, because it's really important. So, okay.
You just have to put your mindset into like, let's pretend this is a franchise and someone is going to make 5 of my businesses somewhere else, like 4, like tons of them or whatever. Like, what would they need to like just like plug and play and just like make it run? So it gives you a good, the E-Myth Revisited. I can look up the author. If there's enough people asking for it, I will find it.
Awesome. Okay, good to know. Okay, so let's fast forward. So here you are, and I think you just recently got a new space of where you're going to be doing your business out of, because I've seen some little posts of you and your girls. You were painting, I think, this weekend, or finishing up some stuff. Your husband was working on some things. So tell me about the new space and the vision for it and what you're doing moving forward with that.
So the theme of today is, what lies are you telling yourself?
Right.
The lie I was telling myself was, the city that I live in, which is Brigham City, Utah, is just not where my clientele is, and I can't do nails out of that city. And so I drove 35, 40 minutes south to open my salon here. Like, and I'm in the meditation studio right now. I'm across the hall from my salon. That's why I said here. And so I've always believed that. For 14 years, Becky, I don't know if you knew this, but I've worked in 7 different salons in this block. So from here, where my business is, north until the road that goes to the freeway, if you know where I am, Market, that block has been my block. 7 different shops.
Wow.
Commission. I worked at a Great Clips. I worked a commission spot. I worked in the back of a tanning salon. I worked in a full service salon. I worked in a cute little old house on the corner, booth renting, a nail and a hair booth. And then I'm specialized in nails. I got my own studio, lots of different shops. And then I opened my salon. And I was like, oh, I've had so much experience. Like, I know everything a salon needs to do. I'm going to open my shop, right? So just like, with the whole, let me back up. We're talking about my new shop. I decided that the lie was like, I needed to be with tons of people in my salon, or else I was going to be depressed. Like, I needed the people. but every time I'm here, I'm like, oh, I need quiet time. I need to focus. And I'm like, I need a studio again, because of all the downloads I'm getting and the things I'm creating for my my clients and my business coaching and all of the things. Like, I need that quiet, sacred space is what I call it. So I need my studio again. Okay, well, the lie I was telling myself was that I can't work in Brigham, but I'm a mom and I need to drop off at preschool. I need to do all these things. And I was this is another thing. Recognize what you're jealous of. Recognize what you're jealous of, because it's your soul calling you to your own truth. And you're mad that they have it because you think you have this belief and this lie that you can't have it. And so I was like, I'm so jealous of this girl I had just hired that works like, she can come for a walk-in in like half a second. She just hops in her car and she's here. And I'm like, I want to be able to do that and drop my kids off and run around and like have lunch with my husband, which we've done a couple of times this week as we worked in my studio. So 7 minutes from my house, manifested, I promise you, this beautiful space that I've always had this vision in my mind of my studio with these huge windows and the mountain view outside my windows. I don't know if you noticed that, Becky. I'm like, oh, I manifested that, which is, I'm way huge on teaching and like helping people manifest things, because I totally manifested my salon and all the help that it took. If you feel alone in any goal, manifest that help that you need, because I did that and I promise it works. Yep. So just like creating what you want. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my perfect office. When I walked in, I was like, oh, this is so perfect. And I had to like, I was scared. It was this moment of like believing in my smallness, of like, this is too perfect. This can't be true. And I actually left, and it took me a month to contact the guy again. And I was like, do you still have that office? And he didn't have the one that I loved, because the view was a little bit closer to the mountain. And so I was like, oh, I'll get the bigger one anyways, because I wanted the bigger one. So I got it. So I was like, take my money. And he was like, I'll tell you, that morning someone else called for that space, and those spaces were going like hotcakes. I was like, I'm so glad. I was like, no, I deserve this. Like, I just had to decide, I deserve this. I manifested this. And then I had to receive it. Okay. I had to be like, give me my space. It's been waiting for me. So we painted, the floors go in tomorrow. So it's going to come together all fun.
That's cute. So exciting. I got goosebumps while you're talking, because I have to kind of tell you what happened to me. So same thing. Oh, Dre, I've been in the industry for 28 years. So I lived in kind of Eastern Utah for 43 years. And recently I said, well, it'll be 6 years in May that I moved to St. George, but same thing. I've had a full clientele forever. I've been in several salons. I've owned my own salon in Emery County. I've worked out of my home. So whatever I needed at that time, I was able to just shift to that space, right? When I had little ones, I could work from home. Moved here, had to start over with a clientele, and was in my home because I knew nobody in St. George, have the 2 little girls still raising. And so, like I said, it works for what you need it to work for. But then I had people keep reaching out to me in this area. They somehow found out I was an instructor. I don't know if they looked on Doppel or what the deal was, but I had this one girl that just kept like, and if she's listening to this, she really emailed me for 6 months before I agreed to apprentice her. And I was in this little office in my home. I've got dogs, I've got kids. She just kept messaging me. And finally I said, okay, if you can put up with my shit show, being in my home in this little office, I will apprentice you. So I did. And then more and more people kept messaging me all the time. And I was like, okay, universe, what is this telling me? Am I supposed to finally get a salon in a bigger space here? So anyways, I took the leap and went into this space. And then when COVID hit, it destroyed her business because she was doing retreats and networking. It was an awesome place. It was so
such a beautiful building. I was following them for a while.
Yes, it was awesome. And COVID had to shut everything down, and so she had to close that building. And I was going, what? I've only been here 6 months. I was so angry. I was frustrated. I was just like, what am I going to do? So I felt desperate. So what happened was, another girl in the building, we're all frantically trying to find a place. And same thing, people pleasing. Every space we looked at was like, okay, well, I could do nails here, but it's not what I was envisioning of having an education center, being able to teach nail techs, continued education, have apprentices. I had this vision and I kept just going along with these other girls that we were trying to find a space, and it just wasn't what I was envisioning. Found this space, was like, well, it'll do. I was like, not what I wanted to do, but it'll do. People pleasing. Got under a contract. I signed it for 4 years, and it was supposed to go into effect in about 3 weeks. Anyways, one day I'm driving past this place right by my house, down the road. It's between my girls' school and my house. And it was an antique shop, and all of a sudden it was empty. And I look over and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was drawn to pull right into the parking lot, pulled in front of the building. I peeked through the front big windows, and I was like, I'm supposed to be right here. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, I am supposed to be in this building by myself, not with a partner, not with anyone else. I'm supposed to be right here by myself. I walked next door to the little barbershop. I'm like, do you know who the landlord is this? Like, who is this rented out yet? And he's like, oh, he's here. He took me back into the office. And I was like, I need the details of this space. Is it rented out? Whatever. He's like, it's yours if you want it. I'm going to put new flooring in it. You can pick out that we're going to paint it and all this. And I just went, okay. And I was like, what do I do? I'm already in this contract.
Oh my goodness.
I was so dying. Like, my husband was out of town working. I called him and I was like, I found the space that I'm supposed to be in. And he's like, what are you going to do about the other one? And I said, I don't know. I said, what should I do? And he's like, if you strongly feel you're supposed to be in this other building, he's like, just do it. And we'll deal with the other thing. And I don't know what we're going to do about it. But needless to say, I've been in there a year next month. I'm still under the other contract. The guy would not let me out of the contract. It's not the actual owner. It's like a
company.
Yeah, that does, you know what I mean? And even though the other girl was like, let her out. I've got these rooms filled. Like, I can, let her out of it. He said would revisit it in 6 to 12 months. So next month I'm going to have to make the thing, and I'm going to have to reach out to this guy and be like, look, it's been a year. Please get me off like, scary as crap, because I'm still on this other lease, but I knew that this is where I was supposed to be. And I get in it. I am locked into, I don't know, I have the next 6 apprentices under contract, like the education, everything is going like it's supposed to. And so, like you said, sometimes you just have to when you get that, you got to just take the leap, because I could have said, well, I can't do it because I'm under this contract. And I did it anyways. And I'm so glad, because this is where I'm supposed to be. This was the path I was supposed to be in. So hopefully the other thing works out and I can get out of that.
And it will. I was thinking of this for this quote for the finding the space, but it might apply to your getting rid of that lease, because I heard this quote of like, things will change at the speed of belief. Writer downer. Things will change at the speed of belief. Like, as soon as you believed you deserved that space, it was right there, but it had been in front of you forever, and maybe like it applies to letting go of that lease. As soon as you believe that the universe is conspiring to do you good and is working in your favor, like that legal thing will get.
And I love the manifesting and stuff too, because same thing, like I was in that, like getting into that lease, I was in desperate mode. I was in panic, desperate. And I wasn't in a calm. It was off. And so I did something I shouldn't have done. But I mean, it was like, I was so desperate, like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of this. Like, they're kicking us out by this date, and we got to get out. We got to have a new place, and yada, yada, yada. And it just wasn't there. But I mean, even manifesting, like I tell people, I tell my students, it's like, are you sitting around just saying like, I don't have any clients? And because literally, like, I was manifesting clients. I was literally saying to myself, I will get 10 new clients this month. Like, before I moved into this, the salon or the space, when I was rebuilding here in St. George, and literally people were it was just like coming out of the work. So sometimes you got to think like, are you blocking? Like, is your negative energy and self-talk blocking from people to even be coming to you as a clientele?
Absolutely. I talk about that all the time. It's like, and I was going to say, isn't it stressful, Becky, when you're in our position, you have people like just like waiting lists wanting to get in for nails. And you're like, what do I do with this? Because everybody wants to come in, but I have my capacity, right? And
Yes.
so then we raise our prices and we teach and we try to like send those clients to the ones that we teach,
It's stressful because every week I'm turning away people, but yet I've got girls, that it's like I want to build their clientele and help them. But I guess had this conversation with you when we were at your salon. I says, I can teach these girls how to be successful and what they need to do and how to build a clientele, but I can't move their feet for them.
Yeah.
Because
and
that's the sad reality that I'm having to face in the last month. I've just been getting kind of depressed about it because I'm like, I'm teaching them all these amazing things, but some of them aren't taking the tools, you know what I mean? And then I see them, quitting or doing different jobs or getting out of the industry. And it makes me sad because I'm like, you just take the tools that we're trying to teach you and the things that it works. We know we've been in the industry a long time.
With that, and with being a salon owner, and maybe a lot of different owners are watching, you just have to be neutral to everyone else's life path. Don't you feel like you get to be like, okay, I know for me, it's worked great to, do all these tools and do all this stuff, but maybe they're listening to their own truth, and being a nail tech, they thought was like this fun, yay, hurry up and get out of school thing. And it's really not their path. And letting go of everybody who gets their license has to do nails forever.
Right.
And this belief that, there's this other belief that you're not good enough if you don't just sacrifice your whole life to just take care of your clients, it's like the busyness equals successful thing. It's there's nail techs out there that do a couple people's nails a week and have other jobs that they're super passionate about, and that's it, and they're amazing. Exactly. Everybody is worthy.
Right.
Everybody is worthy. That is not up for negotiation.
Right.
It's what do you want to do though? If you're sitting here in my salon telling me you want a full clientele, but you're lying to yourself as you want to go hang out with your friends on Saturday instead of be here at the shop, you got to be in integrity with that. Yeah. You got to, that's why your confidence is not up here, because confidence is very balanced with your integrity. So if you're not a whole person, integrity, the root word of integrity, integer, it has to do with the whole number, right? Are you whole? Are you the same person when you show up at work as at home, as with your family? Are you a whole person? You're like, I want to work Saturdays when you're talking to your salon owner. And then you go home to your husband, and you're like, I wish every Saturday we could just go on this trip and I never have to work Saturdays. And right there, the universe is like, oh, she wants clients on Saturdays. So clients are coming. You go home, and then you're manifesting something else because you're speaking it into creation. I'm so big on what you speak into creation, every word comes out of your mouth. And then you're speaking that to your husband, and then the universe is like, oh, just kidding. Pull back.
Fine, she doesn't.
Card who was about to call her, and for some reason she set the card down and lost it because the universe was like, nope, she doesn't want you, client. Yeah. It's really working. It's really happening out there, and it's just mind-blowing for me to have lived it and experienced the manifesting stuff with clients, the stories they tell me of how they found me. And I try to teach that to other people, and I hope my energy teaches it and my example teaches it more than anything. But it's you got to move your feet. You gotta be super laser clear and focused on what you want and listen to your truth. And it's okay if it's not a full-time nail clientele. That's okay.
Right. Exactly. But like you said, find out what you really want and not what everyone around you thinks you should have, or, and like I said, that's hard for me as a business owner, as an instructor, as an educator, because it's not everybody is you, Becky. Not everybody has your drive, has your work ethic, has the same goals and aspirations you have. And so I have to try to figure out how to just goose brava, let them be what they are. That's me, my husband's nice word. Goose brava, settle down.
It's so true.
Okay, so now with your space, you're going to be doing clients there. You're going to be doing some nail clients. Yes? No?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a very specialized niche, and people that I allow onto my schedule. It's a very narrow, like I know my ideal client. So I'm not like opening it like way wide up, but the other part of my time when I'm not doing clients in my office is going to be, my meetings that I have with my mastermind, my, just behind the scenes work that I do during the week and my podcast and all that stuff. So.
Yes, because it takes a lot. And I'm sitting in my little office right now here behind my salon, and I love it. So Mondays I take to do podcasts and behind the scenes and the educating, instructing with Sojel and all those, and just to, block out your day of like, hey, even if it's paperwork on Monday or whatever. And then, I teach my apprentices on Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays I take clients. And I love that, we can just have such a complex, I guess, career, or we can narrow it down and just have, one thing. Like it's so great. Our industry is so great because it can take us so many different places. And you're starting, like I said, you've been doing some business coaching. I'm going to be launching some business coaching. So it's kind of cool. You're at the top of the state, I'm at the bottom of the state. I love it. You're going to be starting to do, are you doing retreats also for businesses?
I have been brainstorming a retreat, and I've been messaging different nail techs and getting some feedback for like dates and stuff, and cleaning it up. Because I want it to be I'm open to it including a little technique, but I'm like mindset and business coaching technique on that stuff,
That is what I've got in mind also, because I feel like our business that's why I'm so connected to you. I'm drawn to you because we're kind of on the same wavelengths.
Manifested this friendship.
Yes. And our industry is missing that so much, because I feel like nail shows, nail camps, all those things are great and wonderful. And we learn lots of things. We learn techniques and nail art and all the fun things, but the business side of it is so missing in our industry. I think it is so important to actually learn how to run your business, learn your numbers, building clientele, all those other things. Like, we're not getting taught that stuff in school. We're not getting taught that at the nail shows and things like that. And so I'm hoping that we can kind of change the industry on that, because I feel like our industry also lacks on, I'm so big on this, it's like our pricing and things like that, because we're not learning our numbers. We're not even learning how to survive in this industry. And we're not learning that we can make as much money as we want in this industry. And people are like, oh, it's just a mediocre wage. Oh, no, it's not. Like, you can make some gosh dang good money, but if you don't know,
it's scary I think it's scary to new nail techs to be like, what, the sky's the limit. And so that well, subconsciously, of course, that fear of like, oh, I could do anything in this and I could just, create it to be like this huge thing. And then they go, oh no, but I'm scared, so I'm going to stay small. And I like to go back to your, like, the business, education is needed in our industry. There's a reason that we are creatives and drawn to nails, and that we didn't go to business school, right? And so that's why I created group coaching, is because it's a way to make it fun. And I'm accountability for me, like, I need other people to hold me accountable.
Exactly. Yes.
So I have a business coach who I pay, and I like need that accountability. I know you have a coach too. Like, it's like, I need that. I know other people need that. I know I need the interaction to make it fun. Like I said before, when I was going from my last studio to my salon, I needed people around me to like, just like not get depressed. And so now that I have my new studio, I've got the new mindset tools that I am practicing to keep me out of depression. But like, I have my mastermind, and I have networking groups that I go to, and I have collaborations so that I have those connections with people. And so, like, do you need that people support to hear other people's stories? Like, oh, today I'm struggling with this client, like, more than just a chat on a Facebook nail group. Like, it's like, let me really create connections, and everyone's healing certain things that are similar at the same time. And then having that motivation and accountability to show up for your weekly check-ins and your goals, your quarterly goals. When first time I had a business coach, like, tell me about quarterly goals, I was like, wait a minute, what is that? And isn't that funny? Because like, business world and like, it's all about that, it's all about like, what's your Q1, like, and in Q1, Q2 goals, like, how are you doing? What's your progress? What are you going to do in Q3 so that you can like make it in Q4 so that you get your yearly income and your all these, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Like all that is blah, blah, blah to me.
What? Wait,
I know. And I don't like math.
The first one, it's like, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to make a business plan. What is your 5-year business? And I'm sitting there going, I don't know what I'm doing next month. I'm like by the seat of my pants all the time. And I was just like,
why do you think that is, that we don't know what we're doing next month? Like I had a mentor tell me years ago, one of my first mentors years ago, the importance of deciding what you're going to do 5 years from now. He had planned out.
Yes.
And the power of that is and like
envisioning it. Envisioning.
I'm not going to be I'm not going to be dead or broke or in a ditch 5 years from now. And so your brain actually starts to work on that because you're like planning on it. This mentor of mine, his name is Kirk Duncan. He has planned how long he's going to live. He's like, I'm going to live to be 105. I forget if it's 5 or whatever. It's over 100. He goes, and I'm going to do this and this and this. Like that's what he means.
All planned out. Yeah.
Planning out your life. And it's okay if the plans don't work out. It's okay if 5 years from now you don't go to Italy like you put on your plan. You adjust, you measure, you correct. Like the airplane is always readjusting to get that course straight from Florida to California, but like redirect. But you got to know where you're headed.
Right. There's a lot of power in that. And it really does. Like I can watch things, like you said, they come true. They happen because you're focused on that. Whatever you're focused on is going to, you know what I'm saying? It's like your mind goes to that. It's just like if you want a car, it's like if you're always going like, ooh, I love those white Challengers. One day I'm going to have one of those. And then you're constantly seeing them everywhere you go, everywhere you drive, you're seeing them because you're focused on it. Your mind is thinking about it all the time. It's like, maybe in 5 years, you're like, hey, I want to have this is me. I want to have a beach house in Mexico or whatever, and so I'm always thinking about it. And every time we take a trip to Mexico, I'm talking to all the locals. So how hard is it for, an American to buy a house in, and I'm asking all these details and my husband just laughs at me because he's like, he tells everybody, yep, she wants a house here someday. And I'm like, I do. And so I'm always thinking about it, but there's something to be said for that, writing it down, saying it out loud, and then you focus on it.
Yeah. And if you can't even get to those steps, writing it down or saying it like that, like how you said, saying it out loud is a great step. Like telling us right now on this podcast that you want a house in Mexico is a great way to speak into creation what you're creating, because like it's powerful.
Yeah. Really even like I tell people with income or clients, I'm going to get 3 new clients this week, like say it, think it, talk about it, think, just, and then
oh my gosh, Becky's listeners,
the money,
what she just said.
Yeah.
Like it's scary to say out loud, I'm going to get this many clients. Like try it on, like right now, say it. You're scared to say it because you're not sure if you can make it come true because your confidence level is low, because you have to set a goal, get the goal, and then you see that you did it. And then that puts a little tick mark on your confidence. And the more you get those, but you have to set the goal to get them, set the goal, get it, set the goal, get it, or else you're not building your self-confidence. If you feel like I'm not confident enough to say that, then, clean your bathroom, done that goal, like, do something little in your house. You got that goal. Build your accomplishment energy somewhere where you are confident and it will transfer over. It's just the way like the mind works. And it's so powerful to use little things so that you can build your confidence in the big areas that you need in your life.
And then even with the money, so I have this local waxer that I go to, and she's just like the same thing. She's like, I have goals every week. She's like, I have to make like this amount of money just because I want to. And she's like, and if it comes on a Thursday afternoon and I'm short $50, I'm like messaging people, hey, do you need an eyebrow wax? I can squeeze you in really fast. Like, she's like, I track my numbers. Like, I want to make that amount of money. And if I don't, then I'm like upset because it's like, I'm going to make this much this week. And I'm like, that is so awesome. But there's a lot to be said for that, right?
Can I highlight why that is so important in the nail industry? Because we don't have we're not sitting at a board of directors meeting. We're not sitting at, you know, my clients that have these office meetings, and like IRS is really huge right here. So they go to the IRS and then they go to their meetings and they have to make their quarterly goals and all these things. We don't have that. Like, I'm talking to the nail techs who are booth renters, who are your independent contractors. You are your own little tiny business inside of whatever salon you're in. Right. Doesn't matter, right? We don't have that. We don't have that accountability. So that is why business coaching is so needed. My clients right now in my coaching program, every Sunday night, they fill out their form and send it to me. So I know how to coach them this week. They have to tell me things like, how many clients did you have this week? How many open spots did you have left? How many of the clients that you did had to rebook? How many new people did you meet that day that you happened to mention that you do nails? Like, people come before money. You gotta meet new people. They have to report on all these things every Sunday night so that I know how to coach them throughout the week, because I'm in constant contact with my clients so that I know how their business is doing and how I can help them get to their goals that they set at the beginning of coaching with me. You know, I sit down for 2 hours with them in person, and we or on Zoom, and we're diving deep into what do you want, so that we can get that, create confidence, and they can soar. It's so fun. I get so fired up.
Awesome. But the accountability is the hugest thing. The most important thing about having a business coach is accountability, and it does change your business. It changes your life to be accountable for somebody. And it's even being accountable to yourself.
It all comes back to that. It's more about you. Like, do you love yourself enough to be successful? That's the question.
Exactly.
And building that self-love, you got to start outside sometimes in these ways to be like, oh my gosh, I love myself enough to make $1 million this year.
Yeah. And exactly. And being accountable to yourself, and just being saying what you want and doing what you say you're going to do. It's just, there's a lot to be said for that. I love all this. So anything else, Dre? We've been on here for almost an hour. We've talked about so many things. I think it's so important with everybody. What would you like to say, just to kind of wrap up and reiterate anything that we talked about?
My big overarching thing is, what lies are you telling yourself? And is one of them that you have to do this alone? You know, like for me with selling the salon, or even running the salon, when I brought on my manager, everything changed. What lie are you telling yourself? You know, and if it's do I have to do this alone, selling the salon? No, I hired a broker. He's helping me sell the salon. Do I have to do this alone? Coaching my clients? I hired a coach. You can hire a coach. If you feel alone in your little world and in your problems within a big salon, and you're no one in my shop understands me, the owner isn't helping me build my clientele, that's victim mentality, which I teach about. You can't be in victim, you can't be in villain, you can't be in hero. Those are not serving you. Take accountability, for your own world, and then do something about it. Find the people who are teaching the thing and move forward. Doesn't matter what it looks like in any realm. Doesn't have to be a business coach. Go read a book, Right. So, listen to the lies that you're telling yourself, and surround yourself with others, because that's the way we learn and grow, is others are mirroring stuff that we need to learn about ourselves, and our judgments about others are teaching us something within ourselves. The more isolated we are, that's just not where you want to be. I don't know how else to say it. Is it's just surround yourself with people and pay attention to the truth.
Follow your arrow. This is what I say all the time, and this is what the Tribe Nail Tech brand means. That's why I have an arrow on my what do you call it? It's my brand. So that's what the arrow means. And my logo is follow your arrow. Are you spinning? Do you not know where you're supposed to be going? Is your arrow pointing backwards? Are you always looking behind yourself? Or are you ready to shoot forward? Are you focused? Are you brave? Are you, because the arrow also stands for strength and bravery. And so that is why I have the arrow on the Tribe Nail Tech brand. So follow your arrow, people. You can do this. I love it. I loved having you on here today, Dre. I think this is just amazing. I can't wait to watch you grow more and see where you're going. I'm hoping your salon sells, and you've built a beautiful place. Right. And you're just ready to move on. And I love everything about you. Good luck with the future.
Yeah.
Tell everybody where they can find you. Let's give you a shout out to your social media links.
Best place to find me is on Instagram at Drea Designs Beauty, DREA Designs Beauty, and Andrea Pettingill. You can search that too, and I'm on there, all the things. So
awesome, guys. And you can find me at Nailed by Becky Bunnell on all the social media platforms. My online classes are at nailteched.com. And you can join my Tribe Nail Tech VIP Facebook group, obviously on Facebook. And as always, everybody tribe up and slay your day.